Okay, so good morning. This is our last Thursday morning class for the month of July. I know all you guys, but my name is Meg. Welcome. We're going to be doing a 60-minute practice this morning. And for the entire month of July, I've been focusing on poses working into the hips. And for last week and this week, we'll be focusing on mobility and strength working towards Padmasana or Lotus pose, which is a kind of a very traditional, beautiful seated asana that is can be quite challenging, and it's sometimes with the right amount of opening preparation, it'll feel better for some people. And even with a lot of work and preparation, some people may find that Lotus is never comfortable for them. So we're kind of just exploring where those boundaries are. But if Lotus is a pose that is comfortable for you, there are great ways to explore it in lots of varieties. And we'll be getting into that posture in a slightly different way than we did last week, and also exploring some other variations with it. So that's kind of where we're headed. You can go ahead and get started just in any comfortable seat, either sitting Sukhasana, Indian style, ankles crossed under the knees, or with heels in towards the groin, Siddhasana. Or if you're comfortable just starting in half lotus, if that's where you are, feel free to begin there. But allow the eyes to drop closed. And as you begin to draw your attention into your breath, just beginning to do a scan of your body from the crown of your head, through the face, upper body, arms, hands, down through the torso, softening through the belly, and allow yourself to be heavy in the pelvis. Awareness into the hips, and maybe mentally visualizing how your hips are arranged, knowing that it's that ball and socket joint that allows for a full rotation, full mobility into the hips, and knowing that we're going to be kind of exploring that and continuing to work with that this week. The legs be heavy, calves, and awareness into the tops of the feet. Let the breath begin to deepen. Feel that even lift through the crown of the head on the inhale, keeping the height as you exhale back out, staying heavy through the pelvis, through the lower body. Stay grounded. Inhale, expand, slightly extending the spine up. Exhaling, keeping the height, feeling the heavy groundedness down. As you settle into your breath, pause to set an intention for your practice today. What areas could you use perhaps more grounding? What areas could you possibly need to stretch a little bit more, either mentally, internally, or physically? With your intention set, slowly draw your hands together in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra. I'll invite you, wherever you are, to begin your practice with one Om. Inhale deeply for Om. Slowly bow the head towards the fingertips and softly open the eyes, lift the head. And we're going to begin this morning in Gomukhasana, in cow face pose. So for this position, I want you to transition onto all fours. And from all fours, step your right knee towards the middle and draw the left knee behind you. And from there, slowly begin to sit back in the space between the feet. And if this is particularly uncomfortable for you, you can always take this posture reclined on your back with the right knee on top of the left. I'm going to turn and face you. So you're sitting down to the space between your feet. And from here, I'd like you to begin to draw the shins more parallel to the front edge of your mat. Take your hands to the arches of the feet. If you find that you're collapsing a lot over onto one side, you can always sit up on a block or use that to bolster and lift you. So inhale, breathing here. Feeling the sensation, the weightiness through the hips. Take one more inhalation and then stay just as you are, or as you exhale, keeping the hands on the arches. Slowly draw the torso towards the thighs, tucking the chin towards your chest, crown of the head reaching towards the front of the room. Breathing deeply and just noticing the sensation more on the outer side of the hips. We worked a lot last week on opening up the inner thighs. We're going to be focusing a little bit of our preparation more today on the outer portion and outer border of the hip joints. And this is a great posture for that. One more inhalation here. And then slowly come up, place your hands behind you. And real briefly, early on, Navasana boat pose. So shins parallel to the front edge of the mat, stay here, keep the hands behind, straighten the legs, and then cross, taking the left knee on top of the right. Gomukhasana, left knee stacked on top of right. Pause for a moment to take the shins more parallel to the front edge of your mat. They may not go there perfectly, and you might find that one side of your hips is tighter than the other. From there, using any props or blocks if you need to lift up where you're collapsing onto one side or the other. Hands come to the arches of the feet. Inhale, lift tall through the torso. Breathe here. Maybe give a slight little bit of tone of that left knee down on top of the right. Again, if for those of you who may be reclining on your back, keep grounding through the pelvis. One more inhalation, and then just stay just as you are, or exhale, draw the low belly in, fold forward, torso towards that left inner thigh, crown of the head reaching forward, and continuing to find that little bit of tone of a light pressure of that top knee down on top of the right. Maybe a little bit of sensation into that outer left hip, maybe a lot of sensation. Inhale, slowly release. Fingers behind you, unstack the knees. Navasana, boat pose, shins parallel to the floor. Stay here, extend the feet up. Stay here, release the hands. Keep drawing the head of the arm bones back, chest lifts. Exhale, cross the ankles, plant the palms, and then step back into downward facing dog, please. As you come into downward facing dog, feel that the crease of the wrists are parallel to the front edge of the mat. You can bend the knees one at a time. And as you bend the knees, for a moment, step your right heel in, right toes out, press down through the heel, bend into the right knee, and then ground more into that left heel. So a little bit of a twist, and then changing sides. Turn your left heel in, bend the left knee, and press through the right heel. So stretching out through the calves, and then leaning into the hips to get a little bit more of a stretch. One more inhalation here. And then normalize your down dog. Feel the full stretch through the arms, soften through the neck. Hips are continuing to lift up high. Feet are hip width distance apart, so not too close together. On an inhale, rock forward to plank. Shoulders are directly stacked over the hands. And exhale, lift up and back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale one more time, shift forward into plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now from downward facing dog, inhale, take a large right step forward and step your foot to the outside edge of your mat. So the right foot is to the outside of your right hand. Drop the left knee down, untuck the back toes, and then allow your whole right foot to roll onto the pinky edge side. So as the knee is going to open out to the side, your whole right foot is turned out. Press the palms down. and try to square the hips slightly forward with that leg externally rotated. One more inhalation here, press down lightly through that pinky edge side of your right foot, and then tuck the back toes. Inhale to plank, exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, take a large left step forward to the outside of the left hand. Lower the right knee down, untuck the back toes. And this time rolling onto the pinky edge side of the left foot. So that left knee is going to point straight out to the left, and you're putting some pressure down on that outer edge of the left foot. Square the hips slightly. One more deep inhalation here. And then exhale, plant the foot down. Inhale, step to plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. And building on that, we're going to do pigeon pose 2 different ways. Again, kind of early in class, but we want to get into those outer hips early for our Lotus preparation. So inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, right knee, right wrist, lower the shin down. Untuck the back toes, walk the back knee back. And for this variation, I'm going to turn and face you guys. What I want you to do is allow the heel to come close towards the hip, okay? So sometimes we're going to do this in 2 different stages, but for this first version, I'd like you to allow that right heel to be close towards the right hip. So press through the hands, let the right heel be close to the left hip, and then stay just as you are, or any amount, fold forward. We're not going to stay here long. You can rest down. If it feels more comfortable to be more upright here, stay more upright. Inhale. Exhale, soften a little bit of a tone of that right shin down. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Tuck the back toes under, lift up and back into downward facing dog. And we'll do the same thing second side. So inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left knee to left wrist, lowering the shin down, dropping that right knee, walking the knee back, but allow again that left heel to be close towards the right hip. Inhale here, and then exhale. Stay just as you are, or any amount, begin to drop down. Inhale. With every exhalation, you might find that you could extend the arms a little bit more, but try to keep stable and even through the pelvis. One more inhalation. And then exhale, plant the palms, tuck toes, lift up and back, downward facing dog. Second round of pigeon. Instead of having your heel close to the hip, we're going to be working with the shin more parallel and away from the hips. So inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, right knee, right wrist, and then lower down here. And you're going to have to play with this and be gentle, okay? Especially when we're working with our knees. If this is uncomfortable on your knee for any reason, stick with a previous version. But take your left hand into the arch of your right foot. Try to take the shin more parallel to the front edge of your mat, and notice with your hand there, press into your foot a little bit. You should get a little bit of a feedback into that outer hip. Lift the chest, press down through the right shin, and stay here. Or just for a couple of breaths, fold forward any amount. You can have the hands in front of you, you can walk them out. Inhale, last exhalation, and then inhale, place the hands down, tuck the left toes, downward facing dog. From down dog, inhale, left leg rises, exhale, left knee, left wrist, lower the shin down, right knee comes down. Taking your hand into the arch of the foot, try to distribute the shin so it's more parallel with the front edge of the mat. So now there's a lot more space between your heel and that back hip than the first version we took. And again, being mindful of if there's any pain or discomfort, switch to the other version, okay? Listen to your body. You can walk the back knee back, can stay more lifted here, or even add some support under the hips here if you'd like. Stay just as you are, or exhale, fold forward. Right hand to the arch of the left foot, pressing the foot against the hand against the foot for that little bit of feedback loop of the right hand into the left foot. One more full breath. Then exhale, plant the hands, tuck the toes, lift up and back into downward facing dog. Feel the evenness and the length through the legs and through the arms. On an inhale, begin to walk the hands or the feet forward towards your hands at the top edge of your mat. And then soft bend in the knees, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, arms to the side, flat back or rounding up, fingers reach all the way up. Exhale, release your hands to your heart. Beginning to warm up and continuing to warm up with some sun salutes. Inhale, reach the arms up, lift the gaze. Exhale, strong thighs, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, hands to shins, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway up. Exhale, palms down, take a large right step, and left step back to plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, rock forward on the toes, drop knees, elbows hug the side bodies, you lower down, low plank, chaturanga. Inhale, shoulders back and down, Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Exhale, sit back towards the heels, lift up and back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Hips continue to lift. Upper arms rotate outward towards the pinkies, create space in the shoulders. Soften the face, turn the inner groins back. On your next inhale, take a large right step and left step forward between the hands. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, spine long. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms to the side, flat back, reach up and rise. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, lift and lengthen, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold forward, flat back, torso to thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, palms down, take a large left step and right step back to plank position. Inhale and plank. Exhale, rock forward, either knees down or straight leg, low plank, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Smooth breath in. Engage the thighs. Almost feel like you're squeezing the feet towards one another without them moving. It will be a nice activation through the inner legs. Press the floor away with the hands, get long through the arms. Your next inhale, take a large left step and right step forward. Exhale, folding. Inhale, halfway lift, spine long. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, arms to the side, flat back, reach up and rise. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up, spine long. Exhale, palms down, take a large right step and left step forward and plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, forward on the toes, chest lowers down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Gazes towards the navel. Breath is smooth and even. Feeling nicely warmed up and tuned in through all parts of your body. It's a kind of a nice too for all the deep compression and flexion that we'll be doing in Lotus. Down dog is a nice counterbalance to that, and the openness and the length. On your next inhalation, look forward between the hands, walk or bend the knees, jump the feet forward. Inhale, halfway up, spine long. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms to the side, flat back, reach up and rise. And exhale, hands to prayer. We're going to be doing those tree Tree pose at the top, lunges, as we did last week, continuing to access our outer hips. So at the top of each of these salutes, we'll start in tree pose. So beginning by shifting the weight onto the left leg, draw your right knee up, open the knee out to the side, placing the foot anywhere above or below the knee. Inhale, arms rise up, Vrikshasana, tree pose. Exhale, fold forward, release the foot, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, spine long. Exhale, palms down, take a large right step back. Lower the right knee down, untuck the back toes. Inhale, crescent lunge, gaze lifts. Exhale, palms down. Tuck the back toes. Inhale, step to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, rotate that hip open. Inhale, square the hips off. Exhale, right foot forward, back knee down. If the foot doesn't quite make it, help it a little bit forward. Inhale, arms rise up, crescent lunge, gaze lifts. Exhale, palms down. Inhale, tuck the back toes and step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms out to the side, flat back, reach up and lengthen. Exhale, hands to prayer. Left side, Vrikshasana, shift the weight onto your right leg. Inhale, lift the left knee up. Exhale, rotate the knee out to the side. Grabbing onto the left foot, place it close towards the groin. That deep flexion in the knee is helpful for us in Lotus. Inhale, reach the arms up, lift the gaze. Exhale, release the foot, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, hands to shins. Exhale, palms down. Inhale, left foot back, left knee down. Inhale, arms rise up. Check to see that the foot is directly underneath the knee. Stay here or tuck your left toes. Keep the hips low, but press through that left heel to lift the left knee, come into a high lunge. Deep inhale in your high lunge. Again, your knee is over your ankle, working your thigh towards parallel. Exhale, fingertips down towards the floor. Inhale, step to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, bend the left knee, open up, twist it open. Inhale, square the hips. Exhale, left foot forward, back knee down. Untuck the right toes. Inhale, arms rise up, crescent. And then from there, check to see that your ankle is directly under your knee. Tuck your back toes. Keep the hips low. Begin to press through that right heel to straighten and lift the right leg. Palms are turned in towards one another. Shoulders are dropping away from the ears. High lunge. One more inhale here. Exhale, fingertips down towards the floor. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms out to the side, flat back, reach up and rise. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, spine long. Exhale, palms down. Take a large right step back and stay in your high lunge this time. From here, inhale, lift the arms up. And from your high lunge, I want you to take your left hand, I'm going to turn so you can see it from this side, left hand onto the left hip, square yourself forward, and then reach up, okay? Begin to twist your body open to the right, release your right hand to your right hip, and encourage it in towards the midline of your body. You're going to bend your left elbow, take it to the outside of the right knee, and as you do this, your right hip is going to want to come, ooh, I think I switched on you guys. Your right hip is going to want to come out. Hold on a second. Left hand outside left hip. Got all twisted around here. Left hand pushes it on the left hip, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Okay. So with your left hand, push in on that left hip so it doesn't splay out to the side. And with that leverage, begin to twist open. Haven't mixed up my left and my rights in a while here, so we were due. Keep that left hand on the left hip, chest turning. Exhale, release the fingertips down. Inhale, step to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, bend the right knee, open up the hip. Inhale, square the hips. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Staying in that high lunge, inhale, arms lift up. Now from here, square the hips forward. Release the right hand to the right hip. Exhale, take left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Again, notice if your right hip is going to want to come out to the side. Resist it, hug it into the midline. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. And just stay there. Find that kind of that tension and keep encouraging the right hip to stay in. Hopefully we'll get a deeper stretch in that area. One more inhale here. Exhale, release the fingertips down. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, arms to the side, flat back, reach up and rise. And exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up, spine long. Exhale, palms down. Take a large left step back. Turn and ground the back foot. Inhale, warrior one. And just like we did in the high lunge, only this time, that back heel is going to be down in Virabhadrasana 1. Take the right hand to the right hip. From here, keep it pushing in towards the midline. Elbow to the outside of the right knee, okay? So keep finding that connection, only this time without the heel lifted. Try to ground the heel if that's available. Now stay here, keep pressing your right hip in with the right hand. Turn the chest. Exhale, fingertips down towards the mat. Inhale, step to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hips up. Inhale, take a large left step forward between the hands, turn and ground the back heel. Inhale, arms rise up, warrior one. Square the hips forward. Left hand drops down to that left hip. Stay long through the spine. As you exhale, draw the elbow, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Left hand keeps encouraging that left hip to stay inward as the chest spins and rotates. Keep grounding down through the pinky edge side of the back heel. One more inhale here. Exhale, fingertips down. Inhale to plank. Hold in your plank. Think happy thoughts. Maybe sing a song about your favorite yoga teachers and how much they love you as you lengthen your tailbone down, press through the heels, draw the belly in, and then bend your knees. Take them wide to the outside edges of your mat. Sit back towards the heels for a wide-legged child's pose. Allow the upper arms to relax. Breathe deep into your body. Enjoy this brief pause. Maybe come back to your intention for class. And then inhale, plant the palms. Come back through child's pose. Tuck the toes. Lift up and back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, inhale, take a large left step forward between the hands, and then walk the fingertips over to the right. Take the outer edges of the feet parallel, toes point forward. Inhale here. Engage the quadriceps. As you exhale, draw the low belly in. Come into Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged fold.
Draw the shoulders down and away from the ears so tips of the shoulder blades reach towards the hips. Low belly draws in, ribs draw in. Equalize the weight in the feet. So see if you're dumping all the weight into the heels. Shift your weight slightly forward so that there's equal weight in the front and back corners of the feet. One more inhalation here. And now begin to turn the right toes out, right heel in. Bend into the right knee. Take the right forearm to that right inner thigh and take the right forearm to gently press into that inner right thigh. Again, working on a little bit of length in the inner hip. We still want to do a little bit of both, even though more of our prep today is doing a little bit of outer hip, okay? Slowly release that arm, point the right toes forward, turn the left toes out, left heel in, shift over to the left. The left forearm is gently pressing back on that left thigh, trying to find a point where you feel like you're getting a nice stretch through that inner thigh. One more inhalation here. And then keep those left toes turned out and then turn the right heel in as well. So both toes are turned out, heels in. And then release both forearms to the inner thighs. So going at them both at the same time. And then take your hands to the thighs, externally rotate, lift the chest. So you're trying to keep your thighs parallel towards the mat. Draw the shoulders back and down, lengthen the tailbone down. Good. From here, right elbow stacks on top of left. Lift the elbows up towards the height of the shoulders or past the height of the shoulders. If that's difficult, back of hands can touch, or you can just take forearms together, okay? One more inhalation here. Then exhale, begin to round through the upper back. Stay heavy through the feet and the pelvis. So you fold forward. Good. Inhale, rising up, straighten the legs, unravel the arms, and then point the toes forward, brief pause in Prasarita Padottanasana. This time interlace the fingers behind you. Free the index fingers, open through the collarbones, and then exhale, fold forward, reaching the arms overhead. Again, trying to balance the weight in the feet. Continue to draw up through the thighs. Crown of the head stays heavy, gazes towards the navel. One more inhalation. Stay low, release the hands. Take the hands underneath the shoulders. Turn heels in, toes out. Take the hands first towards the thighs. Inhale to rise. Lift the torso up. If your arms are up here by your shoulders, draw them down, lengthen the tailbone down. This time, left elbow stacks on top of right. Lift the elbows up. Good. Stay here, or begin to round through the upper back. Stretch through the arms. Drop down. One more inhalation. And then exhale. Inhale, press through the feet. Come to stand with straight legs, release the arms. Take a large right step forward to the top edge of your mat. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, fold forward to Uttanasana. And again, check to see that your feet are hip width distance apart. It's about 2 fists in between your hands on most bodies. Some people take it narrower, some people take it too wide, but try to find that sweet spot. And with your hands in front of you, and you may even want to come to a block, get light enough by shifting the weight onto your left foot that you can lift up your right toes and begin to find a figure 4 as you take your right ankle above your left knee, okay? So your right foot is flexed, kind of standing figure 4, standing pigeon almost. And stay here, or with your right hand supporting you on the ground or a block, take your left hand and bring it to the heel of that right foot. And with your hand on the heel, find a little bit of that push into the right heel, the heel and the hand against each other, okay? Deep breath here. And then slowly stay here or bend enough into the left knee that you can lift up, catch your balance, come to a standing figure four. You can lift the arms up. Now stay here, or with your left hand, we're gonna make our first transition into Lotus here, okay? So you can stay here, left hand grabs left foot, begin to lift it up, taking that outer edge of the left foot into your hip crease, okay? So you're gonna hang on to the foot. Now your foot may start off a little bit higher, or your knee may start off a little bit higher. Lift up and then begin to turn and drop that knee down just like we do when we sit in Lotus, okay? Now stay here or any amount, begin to refold right fingertips all the way down. Ardha Baddha Padmasana, half bound standing Lotus. One more inhalation, and then exhale, release the foot, and then slowly slide the foot back. Pause in that figure four, and release the foot all the way down. Crown of the head heavy, you can shift a little side to side here, and we'll take the second side. So this time, shift your weight to stand on your right leg, lift up the left foot, bringing it into that figure four. So left ankle above the right knee, okay? So the left knee is slightly drawing back, good. Now, stay here, or with your left hand down for support, lift up your right hand, find your heel, and find that press of the heel and the hand against each other. Hopefully giving some nice sensation down into that left outer hip, okay? Now stay here, or bend into the right knee, come to stand in your figure four, okay? Stay here, or with your right hand, reach down, catch the foot, and begin to find that first little maybe placement into Padmasana, so that into standing Lotus. So pinky edge side of the foot comes to the hip crease, right hand holds onto the foot, and with your left hand, you can kind of feel that lengthening of the skin on the inside of the left leg. Encourage that left knee to come down. Good. Now staying here, or coming into Ardha Baddha Padmasana, or half bound Lotus forward fold, both fingertips down with that left foot in Lotus. Breathing deeply here, and then slowly slide that left ankle down to the figure four, release all the way down to your standing forward bend. Okay, good. I'm gonna pause it here for a second, bend into your knees, come into Malasana, and I'm gonna, if anybody has questions about that posture, feel free to unmute yourself. I will pause if you have a question about that one. It's actually one of my favorite standing forward bends, but it doesn't get taught a lot. But if you like it, I would encourage you to practice that variation. But does anybody have questions? Wave to me now. Otherwise, you're just really enjoying being in Malasana in your squat. Awesome. Okay. Okay. So from Malasana, we will sit all the way down. And one more hip opener here. Well, one of more hip openers here. So from Malasana, sitting down, take your left shin parallel, and we're going to come into Agni Stambhasana, or fire log pose. So this is sometimes called double pigeon. Your right ankle is going to come to your left knee, and you're going to try to make that triangle shape, stacking the shins right on top of each other. If this is not working for any reason, feel free to give a lot of support to that knee that's lifted. And if that's not working either, come to seated figure four, okay? So those are your options here.
But for Agni Sambhasana, I want you to find that same press that we've been working with in class. Left hand to right heel, get tall through the spine, and then stay just as you are. You can find that little slight tone as you press your top shin down towards the bottom one. Exhale, fold forward any amount. You can keep the hands on the heel and on the knee if that feedback loop is beneficial to you here. Otherwise, with the chin tucked, you can maybe begin to walk the hands further out. Just continue to maintain some tone and flex in that right foot. Really deep outer hip opening here. Good. Begin to walk the hands back. And allow the left heel to come closer to the right. So instead of being in that fire log parallel position, draw that foot in and grab hold of both sides of the right foot here. And we're going to come to Kramchasana, to Heron pose. So holding on to both sides of the foot, chest is lifted, begin to straighten the right leg. Press through the ball of the right big toe, gaze is lifted, low belly in. Good. Draw the foot any amount close to you if you can keep the height. And now let go with your left hand, and with your left hand, grab hold of the pinky edge side of your foot. Okay. From there, inhale, reach to the right arm behind you, gaze at the right thumb, lift the chest, press through the right heel a little bit more, and then exhale, cross the ankles, plant the palms, and step or jump to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, bend the knees, look forward. Step or jump through to a seat, and we'll take the second side. So this time starting off on fire log pose with the left ankle on top of the right knee, or taking figure 4 with the left ankle above the right knee. So shins are stacked, parallel. Right hand presses into left heel. Chest lifts and rises. Find that nice tall spine. A little bit of a press of the hand and the heel against each other. And stay just here as you are. Or if it's available, begin to fold forward, draw the low belly in. You can keep the hands on the feedback of the heel against the hand, or release the hands out and release the hands forward. Okay. You're beginning to wonder if I'm ever going to bring out that bolster and those blocks that I mentioned. It's coming. And you may think it was a lot of buildup for nothing, but we'll just say it could be your favorite thing. Walk your hands back up. Take the right heel closer in towards the hip. Coming into Kramchasana, Heron pose. Grab hold of the left foot and extend the left foot out. So you want your right heel to be close to you here. And if you find that you're rounding a lot in the back, try to draw the shoulders down, lift the chest, gazes at the left big toe, engage your left quad, keep lifting the chest. Now with your right hand, let go, reach to the pinky edge side of the foot. Inhale, extend the left arm behind you, gazes at the left big thumb, keep lifting the chest, press through that left heel. This is one of my favorite postures for outer hips. And if you like it, wow, it's a good one. Inhale, come back together, release the foot, cross the left ankle in front of the right, lift up, plant the palms, maybe a little hover, ulasana, step or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, look forward between your hands, bend the knees, step or hop, come to a seat, and have your blocks or your bolster nearby. So last week in our Exploring Seated Lotus, we talked about finding that deep flexion of the knee into the chest first, and then opening up to find the slide. For those of you who have more restriction or just might have more tightness one side or the other, doing this on with a block or a bolster could be handy. So either using your rolled blanket, your rolled bolster, or 2 blocks, I want you to place it so that your knees, I'm gonna have to turn the light on, it's a little bit too dark to see how I'm positioning this. So, camera angles. You're gonna place it so it's under your knees here, okay? So bolster under the knees, and then bend the left shin so it's close to the bolster. We're gonna start with the right. So we're gonna find that same flexion first, stepping the right foot behind the bolster and taking that pinky edge side of the foot into half lotus, but your knee is gonna end up on the bolster too. Now from here, we're gonna explore if we can slide now the left foot up too. The nice thing that the bolster or the blocks under the knees does is that it usually makes that lifted height, allows people to more easily find full lotus on both sides. And if that may or may not be the case for you, if you know that you are pretty open there, once you're there, you can explore sliding it back out and see how that does with the knees. And I say that with a reminder that you need to move with caution and with care as you come into these postures, okay? They're a sharp pain, just allow yourself to have a mild, careful experience here, okay? The fun thing about Padmasana is that you can, once you're in that little Lolasana package, there are some fun things you can do with that. So if you are in Padmasana with both hands, you can place your hands by your hips, draw the shoulders back and down, draw the belly in, and lift up. So you can levitate and impress your neighbors and your friends, and they'll think how enlightened you are. But you're like, no, it's just, it's just a little bit of playful yoga, okay? Slowly we'll come out of by sliding that top foot down and carefully extending both feet out. Extend both legs fully out. Hands come by your sides. Step them a little bit back. We're going to come into Purvottanasana just as a little bit of a counter pose here. So shoulders back and down. Begin to lift the hips up. Gaze can be towards the toes. If it's comfortable on the neck, allow the neck to drop back. Keep lifting the hips, press through the palms. And then exhale. Slowly lower the hips back down. And we'll try entering Lotus with this variation on the second side. And again, if you have questions about this, feel free to unmute and flag me down. But otherwise, either place your bolster. I'm going to try with the blocks this time just for variety. But that liftedness that the bolster gives can make it more accessible in some bodies. It's kind of a good variety. So start by bending the left knee into the chest and then rotating it out to the side, beginning to draw that pinky edge side of the left foot deep into that right hip crease, okay? So the blocks are supporting my knee here. And now I'm gonna begin to bend the right knee and see if it's gonna wanna come up. Usually, this is my more challenging side to come into Lotus. I fold more easily with the left leg on top. And again, stay here with your support, or you can just keep that top foot out of half Lotus and see with the support gone if you can lift up. So again, wherever you are on that journey, if you want to find that Tolasana, shoulders down, palms pressing, low belly draws in, levitate the legs. I like to do this with my kids sometimes at home. Drop the feet down, drop the hips down. Good. Slowly release. Slide the top leg off. It's also in Lotus. Release the top foot down. Extend both legs out.
And this time, instead of coming into Purvottanasana, we'll just kind of reconnect to the evenness of the legs in Paschimottanasana, or seated forward fold. So extend the legs out straight in front of you, grabbing onto the thighs, turn them in, one at a time. Legs extend up, inhale, reach the fingertips. Exhale, fold forward, draw the low belly in, chin comes towards chest. Thighs stay engaged. Femur bones are grounding, pressing into the hamstrings. Just in kind of re-lengthening everything out after that deep flexion and work that we did in Lotus and the hamstrings. And then inhale, slowly coming up. And there's one other thing that I was going to offer you today as kind of a final treat for Lotus pose, or one of the things that you can work with. I'm not sure if you all have wall space available at home, but if you would like to practice coming into to Lotus in handstand, or half Lotus in handstand, find a wall space or a door space. I'm going to use the one behind me. If you do not want to do this, please just come into a longer held Paschimottanasana, again, just as we did. And I will cue you to do this one and then transition to Upavishta. Those of you wanting to explore handstand in Lotus, find your wall space. And if you want to watch for a moment, you can do that. Other options, if you don't want to go upside down, is to do legs up the wall too. If you're like, I would like to go upside down, but maybe not my hands, do legs up the wall. But those of you coming into want to explore handstand, I do encourage you doing this at the wall. So you're going to come into down dog, lift your favorite leg up, maybe a little swing and hop. Try not to bang totally into my door here. Okay, so once you're up, you're going to start just like coming into tree, but maybe drawing that right knee down. And sometimes taking it all the way in. Sometimes it's helpful to have a buddy, but try coming into half tree in Lotus, and try it on both sides. So it may be easier. That was my easier leg, actually. So coming into down dog, changing sides. You hear the bang there. Closet door. Starting in tree. And then maybe trying to take the foot a little bit closer up. No. So just play around with it. It's meant to be, to me, that's some of the funnest parts of yoga, is what kind of shapes can I explore in different positions in gravity. So those of you in Paschimottanasana who are not inverting, go ahead and come down. If you want to have a change from inverting, open the legs wide, come for Upavishta Konasana, or wide-legged fold. So legs extended out, taking the chest down. In Sanskrit, handstand is actually Adho Mukha Vrikshasana, which is downward facing tree pose. So I think it's fun to think about that shape when you're in handstand, because that's actually what the name of the posture is. One more inhale as you are, and then inhale. Slowly sit back up. Draw the legs together. Come to lie on your back. And from laying on your back, heels close to the hips. One round of bridge pose, please. Setu Bandhasana. Press through the heels. Lift the hips up. Tuck one shoulder at a time underneath.
Interlace the fingers. Knees not touching, but keep them drawing towards each other so they're not flying out towards the sides of your mat. Chest lifting. And then slowly letting the heart come down first. Let the hips come down last. Open your arms to a T. Shift your hips over to the right and allow the knees to fall to the left. Gaze is towards the right fingertips for a spinal twist. Maybe draw the left hand to the outside of the right knee, lengthening through that right side body. Inhale slowly back through center. Shift the hips over to the left side of your mat and then drop the knees over towards the right. Gaze towards the left hand, right hand to the outside of the left knee. And then inhale, hug the knees in towards the chest. Small rocking side to side. And from here, your choice, you may choose to extend straight out for Shavasana from here for final relaxation. You may also choose to practice or close your practice today in seated meditation, maybe seating, trying to do an extended seat in Lotus for these final couple of minutes. So whichever you choose, make your way there. And whichever position you choose, try to soften. Feel your bones be heavy into the contact with the floor, but feel light and soft. Let your breath be soft. Let your mind not focus on anything particular, but if it starts to wander away from you, just draw it back softly to the quality of the air, naturally and unforcefully, coming in and out through your nose. Feeling almost a blurry quality of the edges of your body and the points of contact that you have on the floor. Slowly allow your breath to deepen once more from wherever you are. Begin to stretch through the fingers and the toes. Maybe roll the ankles and the wrists in small circles. If you're in Padmasana, maybe releasing one side just a half lotus, maybe changing both feet out. Your next inhale, reach the arms overhead. As you exhale, roll onto your side. Let your head be cradled on your arm. And then use your hands to help yourself back towards a comfortable seated position. Or maybe Padmasana or Ardha Padmasana, half lotus. Pausing to remember that our asanas are just a way for us to experience the environment of our body and noticing it with awareness and not with too much emotional attachment. Slowly drawing your hands together in front of your heart. Invite, if you'd like, to seal your practice with one Om. Inhale for Om. As you bow your head towards your fingertips, pause for a moment, taking gratitude for yourself and for your yoga practice and for those you practiced with this morning. Namaste. I'm going to unmute you guys and appreciate you being here. But if you have any questions, feel free to hang out after class. It would be great to chat with you.